Hey YouTube. So today we're going to look at early season Labrador tea. Um, they have little white flowers on them, just like this. These here. A couple different ways you can tell Labrador tea is if you look at the leaves. Leaves are kind of curled in on themselves a little bit, but when you flip them over, it looks like cotton on the back of them. So you got these little tiny flowers, and then they grow on a bush like this. But as you can see, they're in amongst everything, right? So, you know, there's something here that looks similar to them, but not quite the same. Here's an older one. Sometimes, yeah, perfect. Sometimes the fluff on the inside turns like a brown. So that's the older part of the plant. This is the newer part of the plant. The stem on it is also fuzzy. And we'll look over here at a couple more. Now in there, you can barely see the white flowers. So in amongst everything. So here's an older part with the brown fluff on it. Here's the newer part of the plant with the white fluff on it. So that's your early season Labrador tea. And we'll put together a video with the old late season Labrador tea. Now see, this here looks like it, but it's got red flowers on it and no fluff. See? And it is right beside the actual stuff. So whenever you're harvesting, make sure you're aware of the plant, because there's so many plants that look alike. And as you look here, it's hard to see. There's Labrador tea here. There's raspberries there. I'm not sure what this is. This is either high bush blueberries or huckleberries. And you got your maple tree here, so they can be intermixed with everything. So it'll be easy to start picking here and accidentally pick this. And I don't know what it is, if it's good for me, bad for me, but you got to know what you're picking. Okay, so hopefully these identifications will help. So Labrador tea. A lot of the Inuit and the Athabascans used to drink Labrador tea a lot. It's a common thing in Newfoundland. And the leaves can look like a lot of different things, but there's some giveaways on what the Labrador tea is. So here's some Labrador tea here. There's some old flowers. These ones are pretty much done now. And I'll try and show you a couple clusters so you can get an idea. The big thing is, if you look at these leaves, that's your Labrador tea. But if you go and look at these leaves are similar, but they're not Labrador tea, or at least not adult Labrador tea anyway. You can see in the back it's just green. If you go to actual Labrador tea and you look at the leaves, they kind of like a brown fuzzy on the top, and then on the bottom you have white fuzzy right down to an almost coppery color fuzz on it. And the darker the fuzz, the more bitter the tea is. Now Labrador tea is a slow growing plant, so if you're planning to harvest it, harvest from a couple of different plants so you don't do too much damage. Labrador tea in small doses is apparently safe. Don't take my word for it, do your research, because in my research I've also found that higher concentrations of Labrador tea can cause feelings of drunkenness, paralyzation, and in extremely high concentrations, even death. So if you're going to use that, do so at your own risk. Like I say, with any wild foraging that you learn about, you need to study it. You need to test it. You don't just forage and try it. Go through the steps. You know, touch it to your skin, see if it reacts. Touch it to your lips, see if it reacts. Touch it to your tongue, see if it reacts. Keep doing that kind of thing until you're at the point where you can eat it. Because it may not be even toxic to you, but you may be allergic to it and not even know. And you don't want to be anaphylactic in the woods. So this is just information. You guys do the research. I personally plan on trying this tea. And it's, like I said, it's a common thing. A lot of people drink Labrador tea. And in small concentrations, it's supposed to be safe. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you try the Labrador tea, let me know what you think of how it tastes. Apparently it's bitter, like I said, and the darker the fuzz underneath, the more bitter it is. Alright, see you next time. Thanks for watching.